Hey there, Mr. Witherow here. All right, factoring. This is going to be a little bit different, right? So far, we have factored trinomials, and we're going to talk about trinomials here that look a little different, right? And so what happens is the fact that there's a couple things that we need to understand that we have, this is the basic generic trinomial. You'll see this in the instructions and stuff like that, where A, B, and C are numbers, right? A is the coefficient for x squared, B is the coefficient for the x term, and then the C is the constant. We need to remember this, and we'll come back to this here in a bit, all right? So all along, so far, right, when we're talking about trinomials, the A has always been a 1, right? What that means is that it's been like this, right? And then we had problems that look like that. And then we ask ourselves, what are the two numbers that multiply to give me 45 that add up to 14, right? So 9 and 5. 9 times 5 is 14, 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 plus 5 is 14. So we would say x plus 9 and x plus 5, right? No big deal, we could do that. Now, notice that this A, right, is a 1 here. Now, sometimes they would make a number, and that would be like 2x squared plus 2x minus 24. Then we would say, oh, look, there's a number here attached to the x squared term. We need a greatest common factor. We look for the greatest common factor. Well, 2, 2, and 24, we can take out a 2, and then what's left over? Well, what's left over is x squared plus x minus 12, right? Basically, we're taking all three of these terms and dividing by 2. Then we can go ahead and factor this. So what are two terms that when multiplied together give me a negative 12 that add positive 1? Well, that's x plus 4 and x minus 3. So now we have three factors, the greatest common factor of the two, and then these two factors that make up this trinomial. All right? So we're going to put this together now, and what happens is the last part is, what do we do when we have problems that the A is something other than 1, or something other than we can't factor out, such as 2x squared plus the 5x plus the 3, right? So 2, 5, and 3 don't have anything in common. We cannot take a greatest common factor out. We can't do anything, but somehow, some way, we're going to factor this, all right? So this is the new thing. So what we're going to call this is the slip and slide, okay? Slip and slide, just like when we were kids, where we went outside and slip and slide down the hill. All right, here's your steps. You've got about 4 steps that we're gonna have to deal with. First step, all right, you're gonna slide, you're gonna slip, right, the A over to the C and multiply. All right, so you're going to take this 2 and you're going to slip it over here and you're going to multiply. So I always draw my arrow over here with the little dot multiplication. So that gives me x squared plus the 5x plus the 6. Okay, so then number 2, we're going to factor. So go ahead and just factor just like we did up here. And so two numbers that multiply to give me 6 that add up to 5 are x plus 2 and x plus 3. All right, so now, so far it seems pretty basic, right? You're gonna multiply these two numbers, the A times the C, and then you're gonna factor. Now the strange part about all this is this, now we're going to divide each factor by A. All right, so remember that A is 2, so maybe we're going to tell ourselves, hey, A is 2, because it's important to know this, right? This is A. So now we're going to divide each one of these factors by 2. So now sometimes we can't divide them. Sometimes you also have to reduce, right? So that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna say reduce. Sometimes we're gonna reduce. And then after you reduce, you're gonna slide the denominator up towards the x, all right? So number 5, you're gonna slide denominator to in front of the x. All right, so let's take a look at this. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so then this is going to be x plus 1, right? 3 over 2 we can't reduce. Now do not do anything, don't change it to a mixed number, don't do anything like that. Just take this 2, since you can't reduce this, and move it to right there in front of there. So now this becomes 2x plus 3. So now this is my factors. These are my factors. X plus 1 and 2x plus 3. Okay, so these are the steps here. Step 1 is to slip the a over to c and multiply. Then you're going to factor. Then you're going to divide or reduce by a. And then you're going to slide the denominator, whatever the denominator is, up there. So this right here is the step. That's a couple steps that kids have a little bit of issues with, but we can get through that. We'll have to work through it. All right, let's take a look at a couple more here. So if I have 5x squared minus 17x plus 6, right? So first step is to slip a over to c. So we're going to take and multiply those two numbers. So we're going to have x squared minus 17x plus 30. And then we're going to factor this. So two numbers that give me 30 that add up to 17. Minus plus means minus minus, because a negative times a negative gives us this positive. So I'm going to go with 15 and 2, because 15 times 2 give me 30, and 2 give me 7. So then remember that a is 5. We have to remember that. So then our third step is that we're going to divide each one of these by 5. And so now we're either going to divide or we're going to reduce, right? So 15 divided by 5 is 3. We do that all day long. And then 2 over 5 we can't reduce or we can't divide, so we're going to take that and move it up here. So this becomes 5x minus 2. All right? Not bad. So there's a couple crazy steps. So let's look at a couple that may be having to like reduce, right? So far we've divided or we've just kicked it up. All right? So let's take a look at something like 6x squared minus 5x minus 4. Okay? So let's take a look at that. So we're going to, first step is to, well, let's identify a. So a is 6. So we need to know that, right? And then we're going to slip and slide. So we're going to multiply the 6 and the 4. We're going to come up with 24. So x squared minus 5x minus 24. And then we're going to find two factors of 24 that give me negative 5, right? So since it's minus minus, one's going to be minus, one's going to be plus. And then the minus gets the 8 and the plus gets the 3. All right, because negative 8 times a positive 3, negative 24. Negative 8 plus 3 is a negative 5. So now we have to bring our 6 in. We're going to divide by 6. All right? Okay, so now we have to reduce, right? This is the key. So reduce these. So 8 over 6, how do we reduce that? Well, each of them can be reduced by 2. So we're going to reduce the 8 to a 4 and the 6 to a 3. All right, we reduce those. 3 over 6, they each can, 3 over 6 is 1/2. This is going to be a 1, this is going to be a 2. So now we have reduced them. We can't reduce this any further, so we're going to take this 3 and we're going to kick it up, and we're going to take this 2 and we're going to kick it up or slide it up. So now we're going to have 3x minus this 4, right? And then we're going to have 2x plus this 1, right? So this is going to be our answer now. Remember that this is still in play here. And these are in play here up here. That's why they fall down here, right? And then these numbers go here. So don't forget that. Now, a real quick way to check to see if you did good. Remember, we're not looking for this one, we're looking for here. This is our beginning. So 3x times 2x is 6x squared, and negative 4 times a positive 1 is a negative 4. If I check those two, I'm gonna be pretty confident in my ability to get negative 5x in the middle, okay? So that's what we were looking for, all right? So that's what you need to do with this. This is called the slip and slide. And we do this when A is not 1, right? When A is not 1. So that means there's a number in front of the x squared. Number attached, all right, in front of x squared. That's what you're going to look for, all right? Keep having fun with math.